Good morning and welcome to the Cloffice. I hope that you are well this morning. This past long weekend, I had the great pleasure of wilderness camping with my family, and it was so great. As a child, we went wilderness camping like every year, like in the summer for a week or something, and just amazing. Out in the middle of nowhere, nothing, just you in the forest and an outhouse. You know, it was great. Anyway, one important thing I think to take with you camping is this little tool. And this little tool comes with this great little, I'm sure every kind of bad for you chemical thing, and you put it on this little tool and then you light it on fire, and as it burns it lets off this smoke and this aroma, and the mosquitoes hate it and lots of the bugs hate it. And so as you're sitting around maybe playing cards and chatting by the fire, this little guy helps keeps the bugs away. And so I was looking at this thing and this concept, and often the Lord uses just these kind of things around to give me a little nugget and remind me of things. And so I had this little kind of idea that I know came from the Lord. Just like this burns and sets off this a little aroma, when our hearts burn for the Lord and our lives burn for the Lord, it sets off this little aroma that the enemy hates and the enemy can't stand to be around. And how important it is that we burn for the Lord, so much so that the enemy just has to flee and has to take off because you can't stand to be around us. But the flip side of it is, in this situation, a little more than just the bug deterrent, is when we burn for the Lord, how it's such a sweet smelling incense to the Lord in his throne room. In 2 Corinthians 2, it talks about, for we are a fragrance of Christ to God. When we burn for the Lord, when we're sold out for the Lord, then we are a fragrance, and incense to the Lord. In Ephesians 5, it talks about being an offering and a sacrifice to God as a fragrant aroma. We have been invited to just be on fire for God, to burn for the Lord, to be in this place of just saying, set our hearts on fire. Like when you read in Revelation, when he's talking to the one church about going back to your first love, being so passionate for the Lord, being passionately all about the Father's business. And so I just want to encourage you today to get into the presence of the Lord, spend some time in worship, spend some time just loving on Jesus, and allow your heart to be stirred, the coals in your heart to be stirred up, that fire just sets off this beautiful aroma that not only repels the darkness, but that sets this beautiful aroma into the throne room of God and is such a beautiful fragrance to him. So be encouraged to praise him, to worship him, to thank him, to raise up his name, and allow a beautiful incense to fill his throne room. Have an amazing day and smell beautiful. God bless.